Wycked, Wycked tones, you know.
So we're back on the favorite machine of all time for back, apparently. You can literally apply this to any chest supported row. It doesn't have to be this row, just we're trying to film shit people can understand. So this is an easier machine to work on than some machine jammed in a corner somewhere. So basically, the understanding on a seated row, or sorry, on a chest supported row, is we can use the chest support to pull around, and we can use it to like, so I'm trying to emphasize the retraction of my shoulders and maybe a little lift in my chest. So I'm trying to get a little more upper back, mid back. I'm gonna get lat if I'm keeping my elbow on a certain line. Depends where I place my elbow. Put more emphasis on upper, put more emphasis on lats, right? So for this demonstration, the upper pull, or this like kind of stuck on the pad pull where we're retracting shoulders, is gonna be for more like outer mid lat. So I'm gonna get like some low lat, I'm gonna feel it because I know how to basically engage my lat. And I'm gonna understand that I'm kind of like opening the meat of my lats and rocking around my upper back on that pull, right? So the first pull is gonna be, we'll call it like stuck to the pad. So we're not gonna really lift off. We're gonna use the chest pad as all our weight's digging into this chest pad. So my feet are off the floor. My weight is here, right? So when I go to pull, all I'm gonna do in this lengthened position is retract my shoulders and set down into my scapula. It's a big word. So we're gonna retract our shoulders and lock them down, let's just say, for most people. My hands are gonna be placed in forcing up, so I'm gonna be a little bent in my wrist, rolled up. I'm not hooked, I'm pressed in my hands. So I can squeeze my palm, right? So when I go to pull here, I'm gonna use the chest pad as support. I'm gonna drive through the chest pad. So I'm rocking through and I'm pulling. So I'm getting momentum off of here to pull through. I'm not using this momentum as we're about to do, where I'm gonna roll up through and rock really into lat and set everything kind of down and back, right? I wanna use this pad almost like I'm trying to pull myself through it towards you. So if I'm trying to emanate or trying to lift myself here, I'm setting here and I'm pushing my chest pressure, I can almost feel the metal from that pad I'm pushing on so hard on. So I'm gonna drive through. I'm gonna come more around on my pull. As you can see, I'm opening elbow, I'm not pulling straight. So I'm gonna rock and squeeze. So my upper back stays open, my lats stay flared, and I rock here, okay? So we're trying to do that now to get more lat, or more of a true row, to mimic like a barbell row, where we're kind of pulling into our waistline. It's the same idea, so we're doing the same thing, setting up exact same way, except now I'm keeping my butt way back, and I'm posturing up way taller. So I've locked that elbow down into my lat, my chest pressure's here, but my chest is off the pad a bit. My belly's in it, and my sternum. So when I go to rock here, I'm gonna roll up to here. So I can stay here because I'm stuck in my lats and squeezing in my shoulders, right? So I'm rocking here, up through. Head stays buried, don't do this. As soon as we start head banging with our head, our weight leaves the pad. And we're falling back onto it. I'm glued to the pad all the time in my sternum, I'm just rolling up through. So it's rolling, or when I'm stuck here, rolling. Less movement. Here's more movement, less, right? So that change in variation of how much pressure we put on the pad, how much we drive upward, how much we drive forward, elicits a completely different response in our back training, right? So you don't need to like, this machine is for this and only this. It's like, no, I can hit various parts of my back on this machine all the time. I could do this one arm. There's a lot of guys that do it one arm. I've seen Nick Walker do it. I've done it on my own. So I can pin here, and I can create pressure here, and I can rock up through. Rock. But understand you need to get length to be able to pull. I can't go here and start sawing wood doing this. I have to let my lat go, and then roll. Roll, right? There's a million things you can do on this machine. We could drop this thing this seat down to the ground. And we could pull up into our ears and hit more upper back, upper trap, right? Just seat angles, pressure points, how far I'm rolling up, all that shit dictates a completely different pump. You could literally get a full back pump on this machine alone. Or the fucking Nautilus here, even though the range on this is shit. I don't know why people use this machine, but you could. Like, This is like the back savior, apparently, this Nautilus machine. Yet everyone that does it doesn't have a back. Like, unbelievable. A lot of people, it's cool, it's very cool to see. It's not like me making fun of people or talking shit about it. It's like a lot of people have gravitated towards this like bow and arrow style rear delt movement that I do. There's nothing wrong, like I do it up high. Some people do it here. There's nothing wrong. It's just that I find that because I'm a bigger dude and I train a lot of bigger guys, it's like when we get in this position where we're here and trying to push across, I just feel like I can't get enough stretch here. Like I'm bound. So like even at lengthened, I'm touching the stack. So I have to get way out here to cause the stretch I want that I'm getting up here. So if I start here, I'm too tight for me. And yeah, I feel rear delt, it's a little more of an intense rate of weight push, so I can find it and I can rock on it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I find I get too much trap. And as I get tired and the weight gets heavier, my trap takes over too much and I'm kind of locked up in my shoulder and pushing out. And I'm getting delt, but I'm not relaxing, right? I like to feel like I'm lengthening a muscle when I'm training it. So the idea with this is like people see, two things people are missing out on. One is that when they grab here, they're not getting the distance here. So I'm literally holding on to here because I'll fall. I'll be completely off balance if I don't, because my body's literally on like a 30-degree angle, maybe 25. I don't know what the fuck that is. Get out your fucking geometry set. But anyway, we're angled and we're leaning here. So the best way to gauge that is I'm stiff armed off of here and I'm leaning now. So now my arm is being pulled across my face. So I feel a stretch on the back of my arm and my rear delt here, because this stretch is so intense, which was way less here, as you can see. So from here, I can elicit my movement. I can start my movement by almost dropping my shoulder. So I didn't even pull my hand. I just pulled my elbow and shoulder, I dropped them. If you're having trouble understanding where to engage from, that's it. My hand's tight, my arm's loose, I just break elbow and drop elbow. And then the pull becomes full. So again, I'm creating space between my arm, my face and my arm. I'm not doing what a lot of people I see them doing, is they're getting here and they're going, or they're pulling, this cord literally comes almost to their chin and they're pulling back. I'm not trying to pull back on my rear delt, I'm trying to pull down. So that stretch that it starts out on, when it's hanging here, when I'm here, this stretch that I'm on now, I want to feel the whole time. So I want to rock until I feel that engage and stretch grab my rear delt. I want my rear delt to get pulled back up and drop. So in your mind, it doesn't look like it on camera, this forearm and this cable should be traveling in a straight line and back up. Straight line and back up. Obviously when we pull, this starts out on a straight line from the cable and as the elbow bends and the forearm rocks down. But as we get here, it breaks. But my elbow never breaks the plane of my body. So I don't do this. It just stays on the plane of my body. I start the movement by snapping hand, pull, pull. As for your head, put your head wherever you can relax your shoulder the most. So if you're gonna keep leaning towards the weight, having your head here, you're gonna have a tendency to lean with your head over and you're gonna lean away and pull. I'd rather be looking up here and thinking that I'm drawing behind my ear. So I'm pulling this cord right behind my ear with this gap that I'm creating, right? So just a little thing for people to work on.